Hi everybody, Mickey here, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, Combat Smocks. The way I see it, based on maybe a little bit of knowledge and a few facts. Let's get past the myths, the legends, the bullshit, and get on with an honest review of a combat smock and talk about what combat smocks are really for. Watch for more. So that's a combat smock. No matter where you come from in the world, no matter which forces you serve with, a combat smock has one particular role, and that is to act as a rugged layer. Okay, this rugged layer is designed to go over other bits of kit or other clothing, and it is also designed to be part of a layering system. Now, one thing I'd like to get out of the way straight away, first of all, now if you want to waterproof one of these, do so. Okay, takes a little bit of effort. You have to think that it's got breathable zips in places. Okay, it's got lots of openings. It was never actually designed to be a waterproof. It was designed to be a combat smock, a load carrying system. Okay, it was designed lots of large pockets positioned on it so that you could carry all the kit you need for that operation in the field. As any serviceman will tell you, when in combat, this is what you're wearing. Okay, or maybe a camouflage version, but this is what you're wearing, and it's going to get dirty, it's going to get wet, it's going to get abuse. Okay, its one primary role is to be windproof. Okay, it's designed to keep the wind out. It's not a thermal layer, it's not a waterproof layer. If you need a thermal layer, you buy or get your smock large enough that you can put it over a thermal layer to give you warmth. I'll demonstrate. So, alright, thermal mode. So for the winter, cold conditions and cold and dry conditions, this is absolutely superb. I've got a windproof layer that's rugged, can take the abuse of being outdoors. Okay, then underneath it, I've got a softie. Now that softie's not as rugged. Anybody that's got a softie or a buffalo shirt will tell you it is light material, it can be damaged easily. That's your thermal layer, or a woolly pulley, or a fleece, or whatever you choose to use. But that's how it's designed to work. Okay, that's your thermal layer. Now, the way the jacket is also designed is designed to give freedom of movement. Okay, so you want a nice baggy one. One of the essential things I will say to you is get it wide enough across the shoulders and get it long enough to cover your butt. Covers your ass. You want it baggy enough to go over layers. Okay, but you don't want it that baggy that you're going to blow away in the wind. Now, the bottom there you can see gives me plenty of flexibility for movement in it. I can do pretty much what I need. Okay, so coming on from that, this smock here has a nice YKK zip, has a button over windproof, and it has all the buttons on it are Canadian style buttons, so they're nice big buttons that you could do with gloves. Okay, Velcro's kept to a minimum. There's a draw cord here in the middle and a draw cord at the bottom. Now I replaced the draw cord in the middle with an elastic, personally and simply because I'm a chunky old fellow and I like it to be adaptable. The draw cord around the bottom I leave as a piece of cordage so I can cinch that up as I need to, and as you may notice I have cinched it up a bit so that it actually curves under my bum. Okay, the layer around my middle again helps to seal in, helps to stop wind and helps to keep me comfortable. The jacket itself I'll discuss and I'll do a review from home. Okay, I'll show you all the finite details from home. This is about combat smocks, and it doesn't matter which smock you buy. Again, it's always going to be the same format. Okay, now in hotter climates, let's get this off. You'll get your thermal layer off, and it's 14 degrees today with a little bit of a breeze, and that breeze is cool. Okay, so I am noticing that on my skin. I'll throw the jacket on. Velcro cuffs. I'm probably going to adapt the cuffs on this and go for an elasticated cuff, but again, you start with the basics, you adapt it to suit yourself. And because I've taken the softy off, that elastic now still comes into my body, it still cinches in. Okay, so that's one of the modifications I make. So now, how am I feeling? I'm out of the wind. It's superb. That's what it is. It's a rugged, windproof. Okay, it's not waterproof, it's not thermally efficient. You need to add to it. So in the military, you've got your softy for your thermal layer, and you've got your Gary Gore-Tex, which will go on over the top of it, and that will give you your waterproof layer. Okay, now, as I said before, I see lots of people at the moment doing videos on combat smocks going, I've waterproofed it. Okay, yes, you can waterproof them. You can make this reasonably waterproof. However, you've got to remember, it's got zippers everywhere, it's got seams, it's got loads of stitched in pockets. Okay, you're never going to seal those. Zips like that are water traps. Okay, so it was never designed to be waterproofed. If you want waterproof, go buy waterproof kit. And I will say this much, if you're going up onto the Welsh mountains, okay, if you're going to go walking and hiking or climbing, buy the appropriate kit. Now, I'm not saying this is bad kit for it, this is a good option, but you need to carry the other three parts of the system with you. Okay, which means you're going to need to take up space in your bag. Simple as. Right, now, where this will also work for you is in its original role. It's a load carrying system. So I'll go with my standard loadout that I'm running with today. Bear in mind, I'm a civilian, I'm not in a tactical position, and I'm not in a threat position. So what I've done, what I do, and again, this is a standard in this smock. In here I have some windproof matches and a bit of bank line, and on a cord I've got my compass. Okay, so there's nothing metal in that pocket to affect the compass other than the carabiner, which is all aluminium, non-magnetic. Okay, that lives up there, leaving space for any other items I need. In this inside pocket I've got my map. Okay, so I carry my map in there. Now, a lot of people like to carry their maps in their map pocket on their trousers. I like to have mine in my smock, in the compass. Personal choice. Okay, in this pocket here I have a wally cord. Okay, and on this wally cord I have things like my spoon, my racing spoon, because you always can't tell you how many times I go out and I'm suddenly making a coffee and I'm thinking, I ain't got a spoon, I've got to use a stick. Or I've taken some scoff with me and I think to myself, gonna have to carve something, make something. So, racing spoon. Magnifying glass for dealing with those nasty little splinters and issues you may have. Now, this yellow cord is designed to be longer. So there's actually two cords there. That one's designed to be longer so that my arm, right, can stretch out with it. Because on that I have a torch and I have a small penknife. And on that penknife is things, bloody planes. Bloody planes. Everywhere I go, planes. Do excuse me, I will get back to you in a second. Planes. Right, so the plane's gone. Right, so again, that cord's long enough that this torch can come out and go to my hand. The torch can also be detached and become a headlight if I need it to be. Okay, but for most travelling roles it goes on there and it clips on nicely, this one. So open that up, that's on there, and again, beautiful wally cord. If it falls out of your pocket, you're not going to lose it. Okay, So that goes in there. So that's not a lot I'm carrying. Now, this has 4 lower pockets. The first one is quite narrow. So in that I've got things like my keys. Again, I've stuck a carabiner on a cord, so my keys are secure. I'm not losing them. There's nothing worse than getting back to the car when you've been out in the hills, you're cold and wet, and finding that you've lost your keys. And the other pockets have nothing in at the moment. And there is a large full width pocket here. Okay. There is a hip pocket here, which is quite large. Hip pocket here is quite large. Now, this is what I want you to think about. So, at the moment, my pack is quite full. So, I want to carry my waterproofs. I want to carry all my shelter system in there. I want to carry my cook system in there. On me, I want to carry those other bits and pieces. Well, already in my trouser pocket, I have my mobile phone. Okay, that's in there, and my iPad, which is in here at the moment. So let's have a look, see what we can do to move kit over and make this system more efficient. So I've thrown some things in there just to give you some ideas, methodology. So, cook system, well, water. I'm always going to want water, and I'm always going to need the water with me. So, let's lighten that bag and think about our systems. So, my water bottle will fit quite nicely, standard Osprey water bottle, in that pocket. Okay, so I've got a water bottle in that pocket, and I've still got room. So what else could I put in that pocket? I'll keep that pocket dedicated water. So Sawyer, I've got my Sawyer Mini, and I've got a Millbank bag. So that can go into that pocket with that. Okay, now that means that pocket is dedicated water. Okie doke. Survival tin. Okay, so there's everything I could need for a survival situation in that, an emergency backup. That is the same size as a standard mess tin. That fits in that pocket. That fits in that pocket. Got 2 front pockets here. One's got my car keys in it. So what I could do, I've got some scoff there. So what I'll do, let's sling the scoff in that pocket. Oh, my IFAC. Right, so my IFAC I keep in my trouser pocket. There's a reason for keeping it in my trouser pocket. That is, if I decide to take the smock off, it's still with me. So my IFAC can go in my trouser pocket there, where your map would normally go. Okay, that's always with me then. Where else we go? Right, well that leaves fire starting kit. Fire starting kit, so that can go in that front pocket there. And that already has a carabiner on it, and because every one of these pockets has a nice D-ring on it, that can clip to that D-ring. I'm not going to lose my fire lighting kit. Right, let's have a look at other bits and pieces. Right, med kit. Basic medicines that I need. Well, I've got a compass in there, I don't want to put metal in there. Let's come over to my wallet pocket. That's the diarrhea treatments, that's my allergy treatments, that is, or my antihistamines, and that is some pain relief and so on. That can go in there. Like a toilet roll. That can go in there. You never know when you need to use a bit of toilet roll. One downside on this smock, got an admin pouch there, so it does take a pen nicely. Yeah, pen will fit absolutely fine there. He says, yeah, pen will fit there. but that pocket is not quite big enough to take this notepad. That's a bit of a mess up. Okay, that's a bit of an error, but will fit inside here. And this inside pocket, again, when I get home, I'm going to sort this smock out, put it up, and go through all the bits and pieces with it for you and tell you who made it. And you could then, in your food pocket, stick in some extra rations, nibbles, munchies, bits and pieces there. Now, if you want to go mad with this, you could probably get your poncho, right, in the back here, or even possibly a sleep system if you wanted to pack it out even further. Okay, but that's just an idea. So there you go, it's a load carrying system. Now that leaves my burden. So I've got the bivy bag, poncho near the top, expedition climbing light firelighting kit, bushcraft knife, that would go on my belt, however because I'm in a public space it's in my bag, spare fuel, tarp, sleeping bag, all the rest of it could go in there. You're carrying this system on you, okay, and that's what a combat smock is for. Okay, the combat smock is not a way of being super warm, super dry and all the rest of it. A soldier in the field, which is what it's designed for, a fighting man, okay, and a fighting man, the last thing he's even thinking about in combat is the weather. Okay, 9 times out of 10 you'll fight in this, and if it gets wet, it gets wet. Okay, all your dry kit is going to be back at the harbour area, Basher Point or whatever. Okay, you'll get into that later when you can bash her down. If you have to go on the run, this one system means you're carrying everything you need on you to get you out of the poo, basically. Okay, it's an all-in-one carrying load system, and that's the way to think of the combat smock. So I'm not saying to you it's wrong to try and waterproof your combat smock and go up in the hills, and I'm not saying there are no combat smocks that are not waterproof. There are many. There's the Belgium system, which actually has the Gore-Tex stitched in. Okay, there are many manufacturers, I'm not going to name them because that's advertising, but there's many manufacturers out there that make a version of this that is 100% waterproof. However, think about this: if it's 100% waterproof, is it breathable? And is it good breathable? If you're going to be really physical and you're up the woods and it's not going to rain, do you want that kit with you? Okay, or do you want something that's light and efficient, and maybe carry, like I do, a poncho that I can throw over the top if it rains, or put your Gary Gore-Tex on, and if the temperature drops, dive in your bag, take your woolly pulley out, your fleece or your softie, stick it underneath, and it's going to give you that thermal protection. Those choices are yours, my friends. Okay, but I just wanted to hit on it. Combat smocks. What is a combat smock for? It's for combat. Okay, it's for a fighting man. Us in the bushcraft world, the survival world, the prepping world, the walking world, the exploring world, whatever, the adventurers, the outdoors people amongst you. Yeah, it's a great bit of kit. Rugged, reliable, strong. Find the one that suits you. Okay, adapt it to your needs. Right, brew time. Let's get the brew on. Yeah, I'm transferring it to a plastic mug. I don't need to, I don't have to carry the plastic mug. However, I choose to, purely and simply because then I don't burn my lips and makes life a little bit easier. Snuff that. Snuff that. Allow that to cool down. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, that's a twat. That was a stupid thing to do. So, med kit. Right, I carry my med kit. Burn suit. Right, so what have I done? I'll tell you what I've done. I'll give myself quite a nasty burn because I wasn't thinking, I was actually thinking about what I'm going to do next, and I touched the metal on my cook system. So what I've done, got a little burn there and a bit of a burn there on the fingertip. Now, burns on the fingers, they're severe, okay, extremely painful, lots of nerve endings on your fingers, okay. By having this gel with me, it's going to help me, it's going to help control the pain, it's going to help treat the wound, okay. And it is a wound, always treat any burn, no matter how minor, as a wound. And I can feel the stinging building now, okay. Now, I'm going to leave this in the video because these are the sort of things that happen. When people say to me, oh, I don't carry, okay, it happens. My mind was off somewhere else. I'm thinking about the next bit of filming I'm going to do. That is red hot, and I just touched it. So again, I'm going to keep that on my fingers for the next 5 minutes, okay, and allow that to ease the pain. If you haven't got that, you want water. Now I've got a river there. Again, I could run my fingers in the water there, allow it to cool the burn, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to cool that burn, okay. But I've got the soothing gel, I'll use that instead. It happens, and it happens to the best of us. So yeah, owie. Take it from me, learn from my mistakes, okay. That's starting to ease now, okay. The pain is actually starting to ease off now. There you go, that's what I've used. Now you can buy, if you go online, along with first aid kits, you can find burns kits, okay. Basically in a first aid pouch, exactly the same as you would find for a first aid kit, and there will be a whole selection of these gels, pads of different sizes for dealing with different burns, okay, and the dressings to go with it. Well worth having in your kit. That pain now is gone. There is no more stinging, there is no more burning, it's gone, okay. So it allowed me to carry on and operate through the rest of the day without me constantly going, ooh, ooh, my finger, my finger, my finger. So again, get yourself a pack of those, put it in your IFAC, carry it with you. Burns, hate them. One of the most awkward things you will have, one of the most painful things you can have. Yeah, we've been discussing it within the community recently. Some of us, the guys that have been doing the one night survival challenge, yeah, been talking about burns and injuries and how to deal with them in the field, so there's a prime example. And another good reason to have your IFAC in your pocket, okay, know what you got in it, you can go to it when you need to. Yeah. So now let's get on with my coffee. I was just talking about burning my lips, that's why I use a plastic mug, didn't I? And anyway, we've all, sometime, I guarantee all of us, sometime you've burnt yourself, and I can tell you now from experience, I won't be without these things. I will not be without them, because the relief they will give you is immense. Okay, and if it was a more serious burn, oh blimey, yeah, they do the job. Now if I wanted to, I could take the most painful one of those and I could bind that round the finger with a bit of my duct tape, and that will keep that pad in place. Unlike a plaster, if I put a plaster on there now it would just get wet, but I could bind that. If you use a bit of electrical tape, a bit of duct tape, you could bind that in place, not a problem at all. But there we go, that's sorted. Let's put that back in there. Let's have a look. Get close up. Good. So, don't know if you can see that. Yeah, burnt across there. Burnt across there on my thumb. Happens. What a wally! But I got the kit, dealt with the problem, move on. So, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please don't take it as a rant, and if you're somebody that's done a video about waterproofing this kit and taking up on the hills, please don't take it as a I'm telling you you're talking rubbish, because I'm not. It's horses for courses. But what I did want to make clear to people is what the combat smock is really about, because there's lots of young people, there's lots of guys getting into this, just starting out, and they're seeing people's videos and seeing the combat smock as the answer to everything, which it isn't. So again, I'll just reiterate, now I've talked about what the combat smock's for, but if you're going up on the hills, if you're going out for your adventures, if you're going out into your different environments, have a think about what you need. Have a think about the clothing that you want. It may be that you don't need a combat smock. What you actually need is a proper hill jacket, something that is waterproof and thermal. Okay, and again, one of the things I will say to people is spend the money. Okay, get what you can afford. I'm not saying you have to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds, but get the best bit of kit you can, especially if you're going out into an extreme environment. Equip yourself to survive. Okay, so it'll make your journey a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. So there we go, we've covered combat smocks. Like I say, there'll be a little bit from home where I'll talk about the pockets and show you this particular jacket and talk about the brand. Okay, Mickey out.